What's up? What's up? It's your man Jimmy Chan. All right, so here we're looking at the product of two binomials, but then there's more to that. So if we have a product of two binomials, I know I'm going to eventually have to either FOIL or double distribute. However, within each parentheses, I have a square root of a negative number. So I want to make sure that I split those up into square, like for example, the square root of negative 3, I want to split that up to square root of negative 1 and square root of 3. And for the square root of negative 2, I want to split it up to square root of negative 1 and square root of 3. Because what we do know is that the square root of negative 1 is equal to I. Right? And that I squared is equal to negative 1. So with that being said, that means my binomials is actually 3 plus I square root of 3 times 5 plus I square root of 2. So if you guys notice, there's a mistake right there. Let's go and fix that. That's supposed to be a 2. Okay? So hopefully that took care of it. Now, one of the things I would suggest when you're doing this is that it's a lot harder to see your FOIL with this. So my suggestion is to go ahead and actually show the double distribute, meaning that I would take the first term from that first parentheses and multiply it by the second parentheses to actually show that, because that'll be easier to see. Then taking the second term of the first parentheses and again distributing that alone into that second parentheses as well. Again, it's easier to see. So let's go ahead and do this. However, I'm going to go ahead and use different colors here so that it will help you guys out as well. All right, so the 3 times 5 is going to be 15. Figured that was going to happen. Figured that was going to happen as well. There we go. All right. And then red, that's going to be a positive 3 square root of 2. So I typically let 3i square root of 2. You're absolutely right. You saw that as a mistake right away. Good job. So for me, I forgot what I was going to say, so let's leave it alone. All right, so let's go ahead and duplicate that, bring it over here. However, I want to change this to a different color and also this to a different color. Yeah, all right. So the purple one is my inner, so that's going to be that's what I was going to say. I let the product determine the value of my sign, or the sign that I'm going to use. So for example, my inner here, I have the positive I square root of 3 times 5, which gives me a positive, right? Positive 5i square root of 3. Since it's positive, then it's going to be addition. Okay? And on this fuchsia, I'm going to get a positive, so it's plus. I have an I squared times the square root of 6. Since they're both inside the house, I can multiply and it stays inside the house. Okay? And again, as we said before, I squared is equal to negative 1. So this actually is going to flip this sign to become a subtraction. So now the other question to ask is, are these two like terms? And the answer is no, they're not like terms. The 3i, the 5i could have added together, but because of the radical, one's a radical 2 and one's a radical 3, we can't actually add these together because the radicand, the inside of the radical, are not the same. So we can't actually add them together. And also, similarly, I can't add the 15 with the negative square root of 6. So therefore, they also stand alone. So my answer is now going to be 15 minus square root of 6. And then I'm going to have the 3 square root of 2 plus 5 square root of 3, I, and this would be positive. Now, your question to me is, why did you do that? Why did you go and do that? All right, so here's the reason why. Actually, it's probably easier if I just underlined. All right, so again, I have a bunch of i's in here, right? Which tells me that I may need to put things in a plus bi form. We learned that before because a complex number has a mixture of real parts and imaginary parts. So if you look here, what I have in green are real parts. What do I mean by real parts? Because of this I squared right here, this actually became a real part because that I squared becomes a negative 1 times the square root of 6, which gives me a negative 1 square root of 6. So it became real. However, these two in the center are actually imaginary because they have i's in them, so now they're imaginary. So that's the reason why they're grouped together over here. So again, what's in green is right here. It's right here. Knew that was going to happen, but it's okay. And then the other part, I'm running out of colors. Yeah, that's fine. So if you notice, this right here is imaginary, and this right here is also imaginary. Okay, which you notice that that's why I have here, and then I have the I. All right. So hopefully that helps with your answer. And the answer is going to be number D, or choice D. All right. Of course it's not going to want to draw me my box. Excellent. All right. So it's going to be choice D. And there you guys go. If there's any questions, please let me know. I will talk to you later. See ya. Bye.